8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The Indian minister reassured that Indian government will further extend support to Sri Lanka to revive the economy and rebuild the monetary base. Sri Lanka and India signed 6 MOUs on diverse areas. Minister Gamini Lokage reiterates that there is no problem with the standard and quality of the fuel imported to this country. The government assures the fuel shortage crisis will be solved permanently before the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. Health Minister says they will continue to educate and motivate the public to get the booster dose. 5,000 rupee allowance for low-income families for festive season. 6,771 patients with lung infections have been identified in the year 2021. News from overseas, Ukraine calls for Nepal to ban Russian climbers from Himalayas. In sports, Cristiano Ronaldo says Portugal's World Cup playoff final with North Macedonia is a matter of life and death. News in detail. Minister Gamini Lokage reiterates that there is no problem with the standard and quality of the fuel imported to this country. The minister said the imported fuel stocks comply with the quality standard maintained by the country. The fuel stocks are imported upon certification by the International Quality Assurance Organization, the minister added. The minister made these remarks at media conference held at the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna head office at Nelummawatha Batramulla today. Addressing the media personnel, the minister further said the imported fuel stocks also undergo another test through the local fuel purification centres. Minister Lokage assured that the fuel shortage crisis will be solved permanently before the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. Sri Lanka and India signed 6 memorandums of understanding MOUs on Monday during a meeting between Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and his counterpart Professor G.L. Pieris. According to the Indian High Commission in Colombo, the following bilateral documents in diverse areas were signed by the two nations. MOU on implementation of Sri Lanka Unique Digital Identity SLUDI program with GOI's grant assistance, MOU for providing Maritime Rescue Coordination Centre, MOU on implementation of hybrid power projects in 3 islands off Jaffna, MOU on cooperation in development of fisheries harbours in Sri Lanka, MOU for the establishment of modern computer labs and smart boards with customised curriculum software in 200 schools in Galle district, and MOU between Sushma Swaraj Institute of Foreign Service and the Bandaranaike International Diplomatic Training Institute. During their discussion, Professor Pieris and Dr. Jaishankar have covered the entire gamut of bilateral engagement. Minister of Health, Keheliya Rambukwala, stated they will continue to educate and motivate the public to get the COVID-19 vaccine booster dose. The minister stated this at the meeting of the Ministerial Consultative Committee on Health held in Parliament recently, commenting on a proposal made by Member of Parliament Upul Galapathy. Speaking further, the minister said that the Ministry of Health has been conducting public awareness campaigns for the booster vaccine. He pointed out that the intervention of the political authorities in the vaccination process had caused some problems in the early days, but now the vaccination has been very successful due to the support of the political authorities in some areas. The minister also said that there was a delay in vaccination due to some organised groups who were of the view not to take the booster vaccine. The Minister of Health further stated that the vaccination could be successful if all media channels, the public sector and the political authorities work together in this regard. The members of Parliament pointed out that there is a problem in determining the seniority of the medical officers when there are several medical officer divisions in one municipal area. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Minister Gamini Lokage says that the Cabinet of Ministers decided to pay a special allowance of 5,000 rupees to low-income earning families for 2 months for the festive season. Speaking to reporters following the weekly Cabinet meeting meeting on the 28th, he said that 3.1 million identified low-income families will receive this allowance. Responding to a question, he said that it will be provided as a bonus for the upcoming Sinhala and Tamil New Year, and that close 3.1 million families are estimated to receive this. When asked whether the government has sufficient funds for this, he said that there are funds and that they would not be able to provide this if there was no money. 6,771 patients with lung infections have been identified in year 2021, out of which large number of patients were detected from Colombo district. These patients are identified as non-bacteria affected patients. It should be noted that 7,258 patients were identified in 2020. Cough, light fever, weight loss, non-appetite and breathing difficulties are some of the symptoms of this defect. There are 160 medical centres set up to test these lung infections. The health authorities advise if the general public have these symptoms, then they should visit the nearest medical centre and test themselves before it is too late. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhaloka Vedamahatmya.
Indian Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa separately and held discussions on various matters. The visiting Indian minister reassured that Indian government will further extend support to Sri Lanka to revive the economy and rebuild the monetary base. The discussions also focus on security, support to develop energy sector, issues in fisheries sector and reconciliation efforts. Special attention was focused on possible Indian investments in various sectors in Sri Lanka. The two countries also have agreed to strengthen economic cooperation. Further, the two nations have agreed to strengthen and promote Buddhist religious principles. India has come forward to provide $15 million financial grant to promote Buddhism and preserve Buddhist-related archaeological symbols in Sri Lanka. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhaloka Vedamahatmya.
Watch Live is brought to you by
More prizes, more gains with CIB New Year offers. Valuable gifts for every bill. 20% discount for bank cards until 10th of April. Visit CIB today.
Health authorities have requested the public to follow health guidelines strictly as the corona infections crossed the 300 mark for the last 15 days. Although it shows a drop, this cannot be taken easily. The health authorities warned. Director General of the Health Service, Dr. Asela Gunawardena, said that it is a high risk for the public to get involved with large gatherings or get-togethers. Dr. Asela Gunawardena also warned the general public of a possible spread of a new Omicron variant, BA2. Therefore, he requested the general public to be alert and vigilant of these developments. He requested the public to refrain from travelling between the provinces. He pointed out that 250 to 350 corona patients are still being reported daily from the country. Therefore, he emphasized that the pandemic can spread rapidly again if the public act irresponsibly. And that was Watchlight.
More prizes, more gains with CIB New Year offers. Valuable gifts for every bill. 20% discount for bank cards until 10th of April. Visit CIB today.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
No matter what anyone says, for your lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, Friendly Leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Headlines: Russia-Ukraine war. Abramovich spotted in Istanbul peace talks. Ukraine calls for Nepal to ban Russian climbers from Himalayas. The UK seizes first super yacht in British waters. World news in detail. Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich has appeared at peace negotiations between Russia and Ukraine in Turkey. He was seen talking to Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who is mediating in the talks in Istanbul. Reports surfaced hours earlier that Mr. Abramovich and two Ukrainian negotiators had shown poisoning symptoms after talks in early March. Mr. Abramovich is known to have spent weeks in a mediation role, flying between Moscow and Kyiv. 9 Russians have been given permits to climb peaks in Nepal this spring despite calls from Ukrainian diplomats and mountaineers for them to be banned from after President Putin sent troops into Ukraine. A diplomatic note from the Ukrainian embassy in Delhi to Nepal's government says numerous international sports federations have barred Russian athletes. Quote unquote, taking into consideration the above, the esteemed Nepalese side is kindly requested to ban Russian mountaineering teams until the end of Russian invasion into Ukraine, the letter reads. The UK has seized its first super yacht in British waters as part of sanctions against Russia. The £38 billion yacht named Phi is owned by an unnamed Russian businessman. Transport Secretary Grant Shapps said the individual was not currently sanctioned but had close connection to Russian President Vladimir Putin. The UK has introduced a raft of sanctions against Russian individuals and businesses following the country's invasion of Ukraine. Back to the headlines of the world news. Russia-Ukraine war, Abramovich spotted in Istanbul peace talks. Ukraine calls on Nepal to ban Russian climbers from Himalayas. The UK seizes first super yacht in British waters. And that ends World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
For your wheel lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, friendly leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take coal out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
ACWA Power, one of the largest power and generating companies in the world based in Saudi Arabia with a value of over $65 billion, have already expressed interest in Sri Lanka to construct 6 solar power projects and 2 wind power projects at an estimated cost of $800 million. State Minister Tarak Balasurya and a Sri Lanka delegation had a highly focused meeting with the chairman and board of directors, ACWA Power, and it was pointed out that each of these 8 projects would generate approximately 100 megawatts of power. And that was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Soccer news. Cristiano Ronaldo says Portugal's World Cup playoff final with North Macedonia is a matter of life and death. North Macedonia, ranked 67th in the world, go to Porto looking to qualify for the World Cup for the first time, having stunned Italy 1-0 in the semis. This is likely to be Manchester United forward Ronaldo's last shot at a World Cup unless he plays on until he's 41. And that was sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB You Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A recent entrant into Colombo's property development industry, Alpha Homes, is all set to launch its second condominium project, Kingsview Residencies Thalahena. Kingsview Residencies Thalahena guarantees a convenient living experience at an affordable price. Strategically located close to central Colombo, Thalahena is a fast-developing suburb nestled between Bathramulla and Malabay, making it an excellent investment opportunity with appreciating value. complete with construction set to international standards, fully fledged amenities, and a contemporary aesthetic Kingsview Residency's Talahena has been designed to provide its residents with the ultimate modern living experience. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic News, courtesy of
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Toyota Lanka Private Limited, the exclusive dealer and distributor for Toyota vehicles and spare parts in Sri Lanka and a fully owned subsidiary of Toyota Soso Corporation TTC, Japan, recently relocated its service facility in the ancient city of Anuradhapura to offer all services under one roof. Expanding its presence in the rapidly booming north-central province of Sri Lanka, the modern new branch was declared open by Toyota Lanka Chairman Sakio Yatsukura. The Managing Director, CEO of Toyota Lanka Manohara Thukorala, together with officials of Toyota Lanka, were present at the ceremony. Inauguration of Toyota Lanka's newest Anuradhapura service centre. Toyota Lanka is the only automobile company in Sri Lanka to be 100% owned by its Japanese parent company, the Toyota Group. And that was Economic News.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
The Weather Report.
The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the island except in the northern province and in the Trincomalee district after 2 p.m. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Sabragamua and Uva provinces and in Kurunegala, Hambantota and Anuradhapura districts. General public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporarily localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. This weather report was published this evening at 7:30 p.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. Meanwhile, the international weather forecast website accuweather.com reports that the day's weather was observed to be bright with occasional showers. Today's daytime temperature was observed to be around 29 degrees Celsius. There will be light showers in many places in Colombo district at night. Tonight's temperature will be around 26 degrees Celsius and there will be scattered showers in selected spots late at night. The ground temperature would be 25 degrees Celsius at the time of this news broadcast. The air quality index AQI is 25. The air quality is generally acceptable for most individuals. However, sensitive groups may experience minor to moderate symptoms from long-term exposure. And that was the weather report. And to end this news broadcast, back to the headlines. The Indian minister reassured that Indian government will further extend support to Sri Lanka to revive the economy and rebuild the monetary base. Sri Lanka and India signed 6 MOUs on diverse areas. Minister Gamini Lokuge reiterates that there is no problem with the standard and quality of the fuel imported to this country. The government assures the fuel shortage crisis will be solved permanently before the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. Health Minister says they will continue to educate and motivate public to get the booster dose. 5,000 rupee allowance for low-income families for the festive season. 6,771 patients with lung infections have been identified in the year 2021. News from overseas. Ukraine calls for Nepal to ban Russian climbers from Himalayas. In sports, Cristiano Ronaldo says Portugal's World Cup playoff final with North Macedonia is a matter of life and death. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.